Hello and welcome back class 8 students. Let's start chapter 4 of your Being Online book, which is Linux Open Source Operating System. Learning outcomes. After you have studied this lesson, you will be able to know about Linux and its utility in everyday life. Work with different types of directories. Do different operations in directories. Let's start Linux operating system. Linux is an open source operating system OS which is freely available on the internet. Different versions of Linux OS are called distributors. Two popular distributions of Linux are Red Hat and SUSE. An open source software is one that can be downloaded freely from the internet and run on the computer. Users can view and edit the codes of an open source software according to their requirements. The Linux system mainly comprises of the kernel, the shell, the commands and applications. The kernel is core of Linux operating system. Its main task is to keep watch on all the resources of the computer system, input, output and storage devices, workstations and communication channels. It also acts as a link between the user and the computer system. In this picture, you can see Linux operating system. The shell is a special program that acts as an interface between the user and the Linux operating system. It interprets the commands given by the user through the input device keyboard into the language and the operating system can understand. A shell program is stored in a file named password in a subdirectory of Linux. There are different types of shell programs that have been developed for Linux. Each type has a distinct interface between the user and the operating system. Some of the most commonly used shells are ASH, TCSH, ZSH, BASH and X Windows. Out of these, the most commonly used is the Bash, Born Again shell. It is based on the Bourne and the Korn shells which are originally developed for the Unix operating system. The commands make the utilities in Linux. All the application programs such as word processor, spreadsheets and databases are loaded with Linux commands. All the utilities and programs are run through the shell. Login process. Linux works in both types of interfaces, character user interfaces CUI and graphical user interface GUI. Whichever interface you work with, the basic method of using it is same. Linux is a multi-user operating system. Each user create and access his or her files on the system. This is the reason why each user has a unique identification. Linux asks for identification when you want to work on it. This identification information is in the form of a username and a password. Linux prompts you to enter the information as soon as the system is switched on. Once you identify yourself by entering the correct username and password, you are free to work on Linux. This process is called login. In this picture, you can see login window of Red Hat Linux. Always remember that both the username and password are case sensitive. This means that the Linux treats lowercase characters. This means that Linux treats lowercase character and uppercase characters differently. For example, username Harish is different from username Harish. Once you enter username and password at the login prompt, you get a command or shell prompt on the screen. A typical command prompt is the sign of $. To log out, you can press Ctrl+D keys. The file system. Linux file system comprises of various types of files. Following table describes them. Ordinary file. This file stores data, information and instructions. Programs. Directory. This file contains all the information about the directory and its subdirectories and files. Special. This file contains the function of the kernel. Link. This file acts as an atlas of the actual file to which it points. Pipe. This file acts as a channel between processes and carries information from one to another. The Linux file system is hierarchic in nature. Directories are linked to each other like a family tree, where each directory contains its relevant field. File naming rules. A file is an entity in an operating system that is referred to with a name. Each operating system has its own conventions for naming files. Linux also has a set of simple rules that should be followed while naming files. First, a file name may be up to 28 characters long. Second, a file name cannot have a space in between the characters. Third, all the following characters could be used while naming file in Linux. A. Letters of the alphabet A to Z or small letter A to Z. B. Numbers 0 to 9. C. Special characters, period, commas and underscore. Fourth, all lowercase characters are different from uppercase characters. For example, as specified earlier, a file is different from capital letter A file. Wildcards. Special symbols that help in accessing multiple files in a command are called wildcard. Wildcards generate a pattern which is looked up in the file names. All files that have matching names with the pattern are then accessed for the command. Linux defines a set of wildcards for easy file accession. Brain teaser. How is Linux OS different from the Windows OS? These are some wildcards given and their functions given in this table. First, wildcard question mark function matches a single character. Example, X question mark explanation. All file names beginning with X followed by any character and having only 2 characters. Second, matches any number of characters. Explanation, all file names beginning with followed by any number of characters. Next, matches from the list of characters specified within the brackets. Explanation, all file name beginning with this or this followed by any number of characters. Next, matches from the list of characters specified within the brackets. Explanation, all file names beginning with this or this followed by any number of characters. Matches from the range specified with the brackets. Explanation, all file name beginning with any lowercase character between A to E followed by any number of characters. Next, works like a not equal to operator. Explanation, all file name that do not begin with X and have only 3 characters. Directories. You are already aware that a directory is a folder that contains a collection of files and computer system. Linux has its own set of default directories. The root directory, which is this, is one from which all other directories branch out. The following are most common directories of Linux. /root primary directory of root, /home where each user's directories are contained, /var where user specified files are stored, /bin and /sbin contains all command and utility files, /lib where shared libraries are stored, /opt contains other options, /tmp contains temporary work file which are cleared at regular intervals, /etc contains system configuration files, /dev where all devices files that control resources attached to the server are stored, /proc system files. Path name. A path name defines the location of a file within the root directory. A path is defined when the file name does not follow the sequence of directories. Each directory in a path name is separated by a forward slash from the next directory. The directory where the user is presently positioned is called the working directory. The directory above the working directory in the hierarchy is called the parent directory. In this flowchart, you can see how the hierarchy of directories work. In the above hierarchy, the path name for the file asian.txt will be as follows. mammal/elephants/asian.txt. The path to the file asian.txt will be as follows. mammal/elephants. Notice how the path name contains the file name also, whereas the path contains only the hierarchy of directories where the file is placed. Linux directory commands. The is command of Linux displays the content of a directory. Study the given file structure. Assume that you are in the Uttar Pradesh directory. On typing is, the following output will generate. Lucknow, Allahabad. Current position command PWD. The PWD print working directory command tells you which your working directory is at that point of time. Now consider the following structure. Assume that you have been working in Haridwar directory. On typing following command, it prompts PWD. The output will be Haridwar. Change directory command CD. The CD change directory command allows you to shift from one directory to another. Sometimes while working with Linux, you may want to change your working directory. You can use the CD command for this purpose. Consider the following structure. Now suppose your current working directory is Uttarakhand. You want to shift to Lucknow directory. To do this, you need to give the CD command with the path like this. CD/India/Uttar Pradesh/Lucknow. This shifts your control from Uttarakhand to Lucknow and makes it your current working directory. Making new directory mkdir. The mkdir make directory command helps to create a new directory in the current working directory. For example, if you want to create a new directory named Roorkee in folder Uttarakhand, then use mkdir command in the following manner. mkdir/India/Uttarakhand Roorkee. Alternatively, you can also type the following set of commands. CD/India/Uttarakhand/mkdir/Roorkee. The new file structure will look like this in this flowchart. Erasing a directory RMDIR. At times, you may wish to erase directory. To accomplish this, empty the directory first, meaning delete all the contents of the directory. Now you can erase the directory using RMDIR command. Let us erase the Lucknow directory. RMDIR/India/Uttar Pradesh/Lucknow or CD/India/Uttar Pradesh/Lucknow/RMDIR Lucknow. The new file structure will look like this in this flowchart. The file command. Creating a file VI editor. Creating a file in Linux is easy. For this purpose, you require a VI editor. It is a simple text editor where you can even type in the contents of a file. Let us learn how to create a file using this editor. To create a text file, type VI followed by a file name. This would be the file name in order to add contents in this file. You can type any of these three basic input commands. First, I. Insert text to the left of the cursor. A. Appends text to the right of the cursor. O. Inserts a blank line under the current cursor position. Let us create a file named myfile.txt. VI myfile.txt. I have created this file in Linux using a text editor WQ. In the above set of commands, VI creates a new file, I inserts a text into the file, and WQ save and quits from the VI editor. Displaying a file more command. The more command can be used to display the contents of the file myfile.txt. To do so, type the following command. More myfile.txt. This would display I have created this file in Linux using. Did you know? The more command displays one screen at a time. The option line number starts displaying from the line number mentioned. Opening a file Pico command. Once you create and save a file in VI editor and then exit, you may want to open it again. For this purpose, Linux has a special command which allows you not only to open a file but also edit it. This command is called the Pico command. To open and edit myfile.txt, type in the following command. Pico myfile.txt. Erasing a file rm command. The rm command allows you to erase a file in Linux, the Linux file structure. The command followed by the file name deletes the respective file forever from the directory. For example, to delete myfile.txt, the command will be rm myfile.txt. Copying a file cp command. The cp command allows you to copy a file from one location to another location. To To understand this better, let us assume that you had created myfile.txt under the Uttarakhand directory. Now you want to create one more copy of myfile.txt under the Uttar Pradesh directory. To do so, type in the following command: cp/india/uttarakhand/myfile.txt/Uttar Pradesh. The first argument after the cp command specifies the source location and the second destination. Now you have myfile.txt in both Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh directories. Moving a file mv command. You may not always want to make a copy of file. Sometimes you may want to move the file altogether. To do this, Linux provides you with mv command. The syntax of this command will shift it to the destination location mv/india/uttarakhand/myfile.txt/Uttar Pradesh. Now the new structure will be shown in this flowchart. Quick recap. Linux is an open source operating system that can be downloaded freely from the internet. Different versions of Linux OS are called distributions. The kernel is the core of Linux operating system. The shell is a special program that acts as an interface between the user and the operating system. Linux works in both type of interface, character user interface CUI and graphic user interface GUI. Special symbols that help in accessing multiple files in command are called wildcards. A path name defines the location of a file within the root directory. A path is defined when the file name does not follow the sequence of directories. The cd command helps to shift from one directory to another. The rmdir command allows you to erase directory. To create a text file, type vi followed by a file name in a vi editor. The mv command helps to move a file from one location to another. Moral learnt. As compared to Windows, primarily because the OS is open source, there are fewer security threats. There is less chance for hacking, attacks and/or virus multiplication. It is regarded as one of the safest operating systems for which all processes are inherently protected. Thank you class. Let's meet again in the next chapter.